introduce Brad, without further ado, Brad and Melanie. They are with Buckeye Innovation, previously known as Buckeye Interactive.
Right.
Which
the
was
sign is interactive.
Interactive. We need updated signs on
That
the
sign
sign.
over there.
It's beautiful.
Okay, great.
It's beautiful. Fun fact, my son says fun fact, so I can't believe I just said that, but fun fact, Brad and Innovate, or Buckeye Interactive was one of the first companies that was involved with all of Innovate New Albany. So this is really exciting that you guys are here in the last one up here as they move into the new space as well. So we're pretty excited about that. So I'm going to pass it over. I don't know if you want the microphone, we discuss that, but I will pass it to you.
Yeah, it always.
Shut it off. I'm so sorry.
That's a nice trick you played, Margaret. Yeah, I always like to use microphones. So any of you give presentations for accessibility. Dr. Keith, can you help me back me up on this? Yep. Using the mic is important for accessibility, right? It's not, I mean, I've got a loud voice. You can hear me okay, right? But you can hear me better on a microphone. Yes. It is an important accessibility feature for presentations. So if you're going to give a presentation, I highly encourage you to use mics. It's a part of being accessible to everyone. And I think it'll get picked up on the camera. A couple people requested that we record this and make it available to people who couldn't be here today. So with Neil's permission, we may make that available.
Now who's doing your closed captioning?
It's a good question. A lot of closed captioning is automated these days if I speak clearly, so I'm going to try to do that. But it's a very good question. Yeah, well, because he asked, we're going to have to do a good job of closed captioning. Thank you, Dr. Keith. I'm Brad Griffith, president of Buckeye Innovation. I've been giving these talks about 10, is this 9 or 10 years maybe?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. I've been going to CES for 20 years now, and I have the evidence. My mom was nice enough to put together this nice little display for me. I'll get to it in just a second, but I've been going for 20 years to CES. And so I love it. I'm disappointed that I can be old enough to have gone 20 years, but it is a cool show. And I'll talk to you a little bit about why I love it so much in just a minute. I'll let Melanie introduce herself as well.
Yes, hello. My name is Melanie Muscolo. I am the VP of Growth and Strategic Engagement at Buckeye Innovation. I'm going on my 6th year at Buckeye. This is my first Tiger Talk. I've been a long-time supporter of Neil and these events and expert office hours. If you've ever gone to expert office hours, you've probably gotten an email from me before or seen my face on the Zoom. So I'm really excited to be here today. This was my first opportunity to go to CES. When I started I started in 2019 and CES was coming up in 2020, and then I was like, oh, Brad went to this event, this is really cool. The next year obviously didn't happen because COVID hit, so I was really excited to have the opportunity to go this year and see all of the different tech. There's a lot of surprises, a lot of things that I didn't expect, so I'm excited to share a little bit more today with you.
Surprises like how far your hotel was walking distance wise. So Las Vegas is a big wind tunnel in January. So I stayed at Circus, which is fun. Has anyone stayed there before? I remember staying there as a kid. I think my parents had a conference there in Vegas, and so it's kind of brought back memories. I don't know that they've renovated since I was there in the late 80s. Okay, you may or may not see this. There will be more opportunities here, but please scan this QR code. I would like everyone to participate. This QR code goes to a Mentimeter exercise. Who's used Mentimeter before? So this is one trend. There are a few things that we'll share today that are immediate takeaways that you can take back and you can use. There are some things that will be technology. You say, oh, that's cool, that's coming very soon. Mentimeter is one that I think is way underrated. It's a great way to engage the audience. We've done some things recently. Hold it up closer. Okay, thanks. We've done some things recently that enable people to interact with their devices. I keep trying to move so that you can all scan it. There are ways that you can interact with people on their own device. Everyone get it? Sorry. And you can have something happen up on the screen. So more technology to come from us. We built an interactive photo booth experience that uses this sort of a technology where you do something on your phone and it shows up on our screen. We'll get to that in just a little bit. All right, so let's talk a little bit about CES. What are we here to discuss today? We're here to talk about the most powerful technology event in the world, is what they want to call it. You can argue. But the reason I got into CES, I get a little bit emotional every time I talk about this. My dad passed away, it'll be five years ago this August. He started me going to it. You'd think, wow, was he a technologist, a software engineer? He was not. He was a veterinarian, which is not, they don't have a lot of veterinarian tech. Melanie's got a couple photos of some pet tech in there later. But he was a lifelong learner. He taught me to keep pursuing knowledge, keep pursuing learning all the time. There are a lot of great experiences that you can have anywhere in the world. This is one of my favorite because of him and because of the things you can learn there. So a few of my favorite photos. They have a lot of fun giveaways. Google had this magic gumball machine a number of years, so that was pretty cool. They gave Woot. Who's ever shopped on Woot? So I don't know I think it's still around, but they have large volumes of things that they sell at a discount. Woot was giving away bags of monkeys. He got some monkeys. He's got a number. Noelle got one. She remembers that. And then, this one, I got him into the American Express lounge because I had an American Express card, and this was like one of these moments where it starts to shift, like the student becomes the teacher kind of thing. I was like, Dad, let me show you how to get it. He brought some of his own snacks, but they also got free snacks in the lounge. So, all right, let's talk about some objectives for today. Melanie, do you want to walk us through what we're going to discuss today?
Yeah, so let's talk you through a few of the objectives here. So really drawing insights from CES for your business and organization. What did we see? What did we learn? What can you learn today and apply that moving forward for your organization, just for yourself, even in your personal life? We'll talk through some of that. You're gonna see some quirky gadgets that may or may not be for you. I was really surprised at the variety of different things, and also how many different variations of, I've never seen so many, giving a little spoiler alert, but how many different massage chairs that are on the market, even one that costs $20,000. So I was like, all right, very interesting. And then commit to sustainable, socially responsible tech strategy. So how can you use these tech items for good as well? So there's many different ways to use AI, different technology tools. How are you going to use them? And photo overload. We took a lot of pictures there. And then a Q&A. What are you wondering about tech in 2025? All right. Go ahead and click that QR code or scan that QR code.
Everyone in? Everyone in? Got a couple more. So this is the same one as the first slide. So if you got the first one, you're good. It's just a next opportunity. All right. So let's see. Okay. Looks like most of you there. I think there are 50-ish people in the room. Not everyone has to participate. This is not mandatory. All right. Let's get started here. So there is a box of cookies on the line here. Whoever gets the most points in this gets a free box of cookies, thanks to Buckeye Innovation and Noelle's Girl Scout Troop 1067. Okay, the best Girl Scout cookie rate. This is a starting. You can use your judgment on this. What is your favorite Girl Scout cookie? Trefoils, Thin Mints, Tagalongs, Samoas, or Girl Scout s'mores? What do they need to know about Girl Scout s'mores?
Last year.
It's the last year for Girl Scout s'mores. So if you need to order some. Thin Mints, that is definitely the most popular variety. Okay, I want to get to know you a little bit so that Melanie and I can tailor a little bit of this to you. We don't have a ton of time, so anyone who wanted us to go way in depth about AI or sustainability, I'm sorry, we won't be able to go way in depth. We can have more conversations. Tell us about your role. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to block everyone. Sorry for those on the edges. All right, a lot of entrepreneurs. I love it. Very good. So hopefully we'll get some real life applications. All right, how many of my Tiger Talks have you attended? How many? Is this the first time? I know Hamit said he's been here at least 5 of these. That's great. All right, very good. A lot of first timers. I'm sorry people are not coming back, Neil. I scared a lot of people off. Okay, what do you hope to hear about? Feel free to toss any words in there. One time I had someone who said, can you tell us about your thoughts on the best uses of Web3 cryptocurrency and NFTs in the home remodeling market? It's like, I really wish I could give you a great answer. If that's what you want to know about, please toss it up here. But I will try, and then we can follow up afterwards about other things. Tech, AI, sustainability, cutting edge, real estate. All right, so we do have some real estate, maybe not home remodeling. LLMs, large language models. You want to hear about scary things? Who wants to hear about scary things? That's very good. That's awesome. All right. We'll see if we can get there. Okay, sorry to cut it off. All right, now I want to rate yourself, your thoughts on technology. Because a lot of what we're going to talk about today, it's about how you decide to use technology. I hate to tell you if you were coming to find that really amazing thing that's going to change your life. there are some things that you might apply, but it's really about how you use the technologies. Are you going to choose to use it in a sustainable way or a not so sustainable way? All right. So it looks like you all feel like you're doing pretty well. Hopefully you'll pick up some new technologies that will help you out with that. How about your health and wellness? Does your technology use improve your health and wellness? And we don't have any 13-year-olds in here. What is a 14-year-old? Like 13 is where you're allowed to start using some of the social media. We have not allowed Noelle to use social media yet. Right. So, but even for adults, who would say that it also is negative for adult health? You gotta watch it. So social media, some of the technology, we can use it for good, or we can use it for evil. All right, we're feeling all right. So hopefully you can all move the needle a little bit further to the right and feel better about how you use technology for sustainability and for your wellness. Okay, now this is a research experiment to find out how you feel about these technologies. We'll give you a little bit of time to fill this out. But one of the things that I take out of CES is that there are some technologies that they're ready today. There are some that were ready 2 decades ago, and now they're kind of passé, and no one wants to use them anymore. But we've got 6 items here. You probably see them on your screen. Generative AI, so things like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Anthropic's got a great product. So generative AI, NFC tags, at-home testing and diagnostics. I've got we're giving these away at the show. This is a urine test, at-home urine test that you pee on the stick, and then you take a picture of it with your camera, and it tells you some things. There are different materials that are reactive in here, and it conducts the test, and the colors, the pattern and the colors on the stick will tell you some things about your body composition. It's pretty interesting. No, this is at home. Do this at home and keep it at home. I mean, it'd be like a pregnancy test that you're gonna use and then throw away. Last time you used a pregnancy test, you probably have not personally used a pregnancy test. Not to judge. Or the cortisol test. This is another interesting one. It's an at-home test to tell your cortisol levels. How stressed are you and how's your body processing that stress? So anyway, it's interesting to see which of these technologies you think are yesterday's news. NFC tags, a little bit in yesterday's news and also a passing fad. I am hoping, I had a QR code-based business, just a little startup that we started probably 12 years ago. 12 years ago was too early for QR codes. When was the perfect time for QR codes? COVID. When they peaked in 2020, 2021, 2020 they may not have gotten the hang of it yet, but by 2021 everyone knew how to use them. Now they're still used, but NFC tags will be the next QR code. You can't read them from a distance, but they are much faster. They can be embedded. There are a lot of cool things you can do with this. So I might put this in a different spot. All right, well, thank you for helping me with our research. It looks like Gen AI is a game changer that's not yet mature based on the audience. There are 2 great AI talks coming. There are probably a lot of AI talks coming. But make sure you check out innovatenewalbany.org for more events, because there will be some great talks specifically about AI. All right, so we have a game that's coming up here in a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about CES and things that we want to know about CES. Do you want to cover some of that? I know you weren't there for these.
Yeah. All right, so as you saw, this was right before the pandemic in January. So CES is held historically always in January. Has it been ever any time other? Right after New Year's, so usually that first week in January. So as you can see, CES in 2020, 171,000 visitors there. A lot of exhibitors, 4 days. The show floor was 2.7 million. And then COVID hit. So they had it virtually. You attended virtually. How was your experience?
Mediocre.
Mid, as the kids would say. So 2022, back in person, but obviously you could see a very drastic difference between attendees. Still, probably, I know COVID was still a thing then. It still is. But a lot of people were a little hesitant to head back. And you can see it's trending upwards, not yet back at the level that it once was, but it really was busy there, but it was very manageable. I think as a first-time goer, I wasn't overwhelmed by the crowds. It was as expected, I think, with the crowd size. So yeah.
Yeah, so a couple photos.
Yeah. Couple, as you can see, very, very packed for 2020.
This was the start of COVID.
Yes.
This photo.
Yeah.
This is where COVID entered the
A lot of
United
people
States.
probably came back sick from this event and didn't know why. But yeah, it was packed.
So moving forward, yeah.
This is in honor of my dad. I have to get some good photos in. Yes, sir.
How much does it cost to go?
That's a great question. Do you know what we paid for your ticket?
$0.
You don't, okay. $150 the first time you go. And then my ticket, every time you go as an alumni, it's free. So,
€0 then.
€0, right? Yeah. €0 for returning folks. So my dad always took a lot of photos. The equipment has gotten much more compact, so I can have a little tripod and a gimbal and everything. But this was my old time-lapse video, so I had to do that. Most of this happens at the convention center. Here, let me show you a couple. So these are the topics, the 2025 topics list. And so there were a lot of really great topics there. You probably see some that are of interest to you. If you want to look at this presentation, we've got the URL on the last slide, buckeyeinnovation.com/CES. You'll see that on the last slide. You can go click this link to view all the topics. Every topic has videos and other things. So there's great content online. That is a big improvement over the last, I would say, two years, maybe 3 years. They have much more content online. Their YouTube channel is great as well. But hopefully you see some of the topics that you're interested in up here. A sample, so can anyone point out like an exhibitor that you wouldn't expect to see at CES? AARP? Yeah, so AARP, no one here is old enough to be an AARP yet, but it's, I'm getting there, I'm getting close. They have some amazing aging tech, a great exhibit that talks about how do you age gracefully. I even got to play some pickleball at their exhibit, so it's kind of cool. Who else, what else wouldn't you expect to see? IndyCar. There is a whole automotive section. They've got some self-driving cars as well, which probably wouldn't work well with Indy, but yeah, there's a whole automotive section, so that's a big part of it.
McDonald's.
What's that?
McDonald's?
McDonald's. McDonald's wants to sell to everyone, right? So wait. It's not on there. You wouldn't expect to see it on there, and it's not on there. But they may very well exhibit there. It's possible. Yes, sir.
Brunswick, the bowling ball people?
They have Brunswick. I believe they have boats.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I have a photo of one of them. If we get to that, so a lot of varied exhibitors. There are a couple people that you don't notice on there. What is one really big tech company that you don't see up here?
Google.
Apple. Google is up here. They do not always exhibit, but yeah, Apple's not on here. They usually do not attend. They were there in 2020 for the first time in 15 years or so, and then left again. Like, it's not so great. We're gonna hold our own conference. So okay, let's switch on back, and let's play the game. Okay, so now if you have just a fun name on here, go ahead and get back on here. If you're not, if you still need to get in, menti.com, and then use this code. Give you just a minute to get in there. Melanie, do you want to talk us through the questions, the quiz game? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone else want to get in? We only have 6 participants. Did you guys get tired of Menti already?
Well, how do you put your name in there?
So it should give you a spot at the beginning. Did it not give you a place to put your name in?
Yes.
No.
You might be.
It did right at the beginning.
All right, we'll see. Okay, you all got 1,000 points because of your Girl Scout cookie votes. Okay, we're gonna. In the interest of time, we'll go ahead with it. Let's see. We have. Let's skip. Okay, question 2.
Good.
All right, in which year did CES debut in New York City?
So the very first year that the show was in existence.
All right, get those answers in.
It's not looking after anything.
You're all trying to Google it really quickly?
It's just not working.
Is it not working?
What could be wrong? Yes.
Oh, looks like we had a fair number of people in there.
All right, 1967.
Well, you might win a free box of cookies.
Oh, that would be
All right,
Right.
next question. Question 3.
All right. Not easy.
Which major tech company introduced the first Blu-ray disc player at CES 2003? Getting rid of those VHS tapes.
Who has a physical disc player at home still? A lot of you have them? Yeah.
You don't want to claim it? Your wife has?
Sony. That's correct.
Sony.
23 people. All right.
What we're doing. Steve pulled into the lead. Oh, no, not yet. Okay. On that question, Steve was fastest.
All right, question 4. Get your answers ready. Here. What was the first year CES featured an entire section dedicated to autonomous vehicle technology?
Who knows when the Tesla Model S was released? What year?
13.
Right. Yeah, right around there. 12, 13. 2015, very good. Very good.
15.
Let's see how we're doing. Who's in the lead? Oh, Bell pulled into the
I'm in
lead.
the bottom.
All right. Which gaming console was first revealed at CES 1991 before becoming a massive success in the 90s?
Who's a gamer? Any gamers? I played tons of video games when I was a kid.
I loved Nintendo 64.
Right.
SNES.
What is it?
SNES.
Very good.
Super
That was
Nintendo.
pretty easy. All right. Keep going through these.
All right,
One more question.
last one. In 2020, which consumer technology giant made its first appearance at CES since 1992? This is who was paying attention.
Uber had a cool appearance this year.
They did, yes.
Very good.
Apple. All
Very
right.
good. Who was fastest? Okay, who's our winner? Mark.
Mark.
Very good.
All right.
But if you're not Mark, you can still get cookies. Okay, we'll switch back. If anyone wants to scan the code, feel free. All right, so hopefully that tells you a little bit about CES and some of its history. There are a lot of big things that were released at CES. There were a lot of big things that were released at CES. There are a lot of very small things that were released at CES too. So we'll talk. We'll get through some photos at the end, but we want to talk about some of the themes now and what we saw that was of note. Okay, so here we can go back and forth with these a little bit. So sustainability is something that we were talking. Margot, you said your son says. Fun fact. We do start becoming like our kids. Like we could only be so fortunate as to become more like our children. She's really cool. So she has inspired me a lot in sustainability. She's on a sustainability committee at the schools. Her Girl Scout troop got a sustainability grant from the city of New Albany. Thank you to the city of New Albany for doing things in composting and recycling. So sustainability is a big deal. Technology can be disastrous for sustainability. What's a new tech that's around that has a negative sustainability impact that people don't think about much? AI. Is everyone aware of the negative impacts of AI? Not in job loss or things like that. I'm not as concerned about that. Tons of water, tons of electricity. I don't want you to raise your hands because I don't like this. There are a lot of people though who use ChatGPT as their primary search engine now. If you do that, don't need to admit it to me, I do not recommend that. If you need to know some sort of fact, what time does a store close? Or you're looking up one of these facts, if you were trying to quickly Google this, if you're using ChatGPT on that quiz, you'd be using a ton of energy. And what also might happen if you ask ChatGPT for a wrong answer? Fact checking is very important, so it's also bad for fact checking. So the point with this is that sustainability is important, and technology can either consume, it can be a huge consumer, or it can help us conserve. It can help us do really good things for the environment if we use it properly. We use it to meter our electricity. I've got a cool device at home called Sense that monitors my electric usage. So down in our electric panel, it tells me, I can pull up on my phone and see what is using electricity right now. And it looks at the waveforms of the electricity and tells me, did my dryer turn on? Did the oven turn on? Was it the HVAC system? And it tells me over the course of the month what used electricity. to much greater degree of accuracy than you get from your utility company. So that would be a good example, and it's helping me to turn things off that aren't being used and do the classic dad thing of, hey, turn that light off. You just left the room, turn the light off immediately. Like, it's gonna use electricity. Sense told me so.
What's the app?
Sense, S-E-N-S-E. And there's hardware. I think it's a $300 purchase, one-time purchase, and then there's no ongoing, and then you can use the app. So pretty cool, but it's up to us. Do we use technology in a way that consumes more or conserves more?
So wellness, I know, I always think Pam, when we participate in our wellness classes there, how can technology impact your wellness? What are the new things, as Brad showed you, with the, if you hand me those examples, these were two companies that we met and ran into and got testing strips from. With this, as Brad explained, that you could use this with an app. So using the wellness with the app, and it's able to tell you, okay, where are you at from? Are you dehydrated? Where are you at with your like your ketos in there? And the same thing with the cortisol as well. So this one is, I found really interesting. That's something that I've talked with my doctor about with stress and wellness. What is the cortisol levels? Wellness as well, we went through a lot of different exhibits, and you'll see a lot of pictures with as I said, the massage chair. So there are different types of massage chairs. We even ran into a couch, a massage couch that you could put into your basement. But how can you use the technology, and how can this either hurt you or heal you? We even talked with a company that was doing the blood sugar, and you could, instead of having to prick yourself, you could scan, and it might not, necessarily be as accurate right now. They're doing a lot of testing, but figuring out how can this either help you or how can this move you forward with your wellness.
Sure. And so with Connection, there last year, some of you attended last year, and I talked a little bit about some devices. So does anyone know that I'm wearing smart glasses right now? Who noticed that these are smart glasses? Some of you may have. They've got cameras in them. Here, I'll take a little video while I'm doing this. So I was not recording you until just now. So these are Ray-Ban Meta glasses. And I would say my smart glasses, thanks for waving, you're on camera. My smart glasses evolution has come a long way. So actually, Melanie, will you hold this for a second? So this looks normal, right? Pretty normal glass, relatively, if you're not convinced. I argued last year that who knows what this is?
Google Glass.
This is Google Glass. So not nearly as obtrusive as some devices, but it's still kind of goofy looking. At the time, it was totally socially unacceptable to wear. But I still wore it. My best use of it was taking videos of my kids, because I could be a hands-on parent, helping Noelle learn to do the monkey bars, but still getting video and photos of her. The catch, though, is that in order to take a photo with Google Glass, anyone know what the thing is that you do?
Squeeze your butt cheeks.
You can push it. Not squeeze your butt cheeks. You wink. So I was going around the school playground winking at small children. Only mine, but still. So then this is the other one. This is my gadget from last year. It's not turned on right now, so I can't actually see you. I'm not going to do the same demo I did last time. There's a battery pack normally that's attached to this. But can you interact with me normally?
Yes.
You could, because I could see you. Well, I mean, it's
Sometimes
very,
it shows your eyes.
very cool of you if you're willing to interact with me normally while I wear this.
That's the Apple Vision.
Apple Vision Pro.
That's a really cool technology.
It is very cool, and I love it, except what has the family, what has the family told me they don't want to do when I'm wearing it? You don't want to interact with
You
me.
don't want to talk. He
Don't wanna talk to
sometimes
me.
can't hear us when he's playing music while it's on. And
You think I can't hear you? I can. So the point is that technology can divide us. When you use a device, I could use one of these devices in a way that divides us. But what is one way that one of these devices could help connect us? How many of your kids live in some other place and you want to have a video chat with them? That's a great technology that helps connect people. But what happens, how many of you have kids who are on their devices and they're sitting with their friends in person, they're all on their device looking down? How many of you do that as adults? You are with your friends and you're all like, you go to a sports event. So technology could divide us, but it can also unite us. It can be something that helps us connect and understand other people's experiences better. So I want to encourage you to think about how can it do each of these things? So there are three options. I want you all to make some choices as you think about your technology use. When you think about your AI use, that was one. Are you using AI in a way that is sustainable? Or you're doing good things with energy use and water use? Or are you making choices with your technology that actually, they hurt you, they hurt society, they hurt the people around you? You might enjoy kind of just zoning out and using your tech, but it disconnects you from the family. So things like that you might coach your kids on, we all do those same things at work, at home, so please think about that. All right, so yeah, in summary, is technology improving your sustainability, wellness, and connections, or is it hurting those things? Please keep thinking about that. All right, and let's do some photos. So I used to do this at the beginning of the presentation before talking about some of the takeaways, and then it's hard to get to the takeaways. So you've gotten some of the takeaways, now you'll see some applications of those.
All right. We tried to go see the TikTok folks, but they were already packed up for the day, so we did get.
They were about to pack up for good.
Yeah.
This was like that day.
This was right before the temporary ban happened, so they were out of there. But yeah, you'll see this. As Brad mentioned, a lot of it happened at the convention center, but there were different locations around Las Vegas that we actually went to see different things. So we actually went to the Sphere, so this was really cool, and we're able to see the Delta keynote. You'll see Tom Brady was there. He was telling us all about, I don't know if it's rolled out on Delta yet, so maybe this is an inside scoop, or you can watch this and find it out there. But Tom Brady's gonna have wellness videos on their planes that you could watch, and he'll talk you through what you should be doing on the plane and how you can relax. So if you're a nervous flyer like myself, maybe he'll help calm you down a little bit.
Has anyone been to the Sphere? Been to an event there? So for those who haven't, this is real Tom Brady down here on the stage.
Yes.
This is the physical stage, and that is projected up on this sphere that you're inside of. It's really pretty incredible. Yeah, there's a plane.
Yeah, they had a plane. We got to see Lenny Kravitz perform. When I woke up that morning, I did not know I was going to see a Lenny Kravitz performance that evening, so that was pretty cool. And then as we were exiting the Sphere and we were headed back, we decided to take a try on the Tesla tunnel. Brad, do you want to talk a little bit about this? I know you're really excited to try this.
I'm very geeky. I was very excited to try this because this has been around for a little while. This is called the Loop, the Las Vegas Loop. This is underground, so we take a escalator down, and they're all Teslas that are driving in this tunnel. I'm a big Tesla technology fan. I feel like I have to qualify that now. Not a Tesla leadership fan, but the quality of their technology is very cool. Although when we were riding in it, so I took I've got a 360 camera, so I got some video while we were riding in it. Melanie, I think, got some video as well. This is us walking down and getting into a queue based on where we wanted to go in the city. And it just goes around the convention center for the most part. But has anyone heard of the Boring Company?
Yeah.
This, play on words, they bore under the ground. And Elon Musk always likes to do clever things with names. Used to think they were clever. So this is tunnels. You see the tunnels in there. They drive through tunnels. It's very cool. But they don't actually put the cars on autopilot. I said, why aren't you on autopilot? He said, we're not allowed to. I thought, isn't that the whole point, that like the cars can be autonomous? They're all driven by humans. They don't use autopilot there. But it was fascinating. And then just in the sense of what you see, this is an NFC fight or UFC fighter. Sorry, NFC fighter. I'm a tech geek. I'm like sport ball something. So he's one of the NFC or the UFC champions. Keep doing it. So you'll see things like that at the show as well. I want to show a few local photos. This guy was in plays with my wife in high school, and I got on the plane and sat down. I'm like, that's Trent Huberman. He now does innovation at Limited, and so anyway, I got to see him there. He wasn't Limited. He's now at Gap, I believe. There we are seeing Abbott, which was kind of cool to see them there. They're showing Pedialyte and a lot of other things. Got some good samples there. Bread Financial, they gave me a water bottle, but they're a great company, used to be Alliance Data Systems here in town. And Asim Roy, my friend, where Noel and I went and sold cookies, he invited us to his sleep medicine practice, and so we went and visited Asim. They were showing off a technology for mouth guards that could be used for sleep apnea, but they could use that same technology to have sensors in the mouth for youth sports, for professional sports for that matter. So kind of cool to see them there. You want to talk about some of the sustainability things?
So we saw a handful of really cool things. This was the air farm, so it's an indoor farming system, so it's climate controlled. This one was really, really cool. It is sustainable batteries, so they degrade. So instead of like just regular batteries that you have, battery acid, all that fun stuff, you're able to put them outside and they just get composted right into the ground. And
It's like paper.
yes.
Paper battery.
Yep.
I don't know how much of it's paper. Cellulose.
Yeah, and they even had some like for us to test. So that was really, really cool. A robotic farming system here. And
Spray.
yes, this one was really, really cool. This is a Canadian company, and what they do is they have a spray that helps make our produce last longer. So I don't know, if you ever go to the store, this is my biggest gripe sometimes. I'm trying to eat healthy, and you go and you get your stuff, and then the next day I'm like, how is my lettuce already brown? How are my bananas already looking like they're not ripe to eat anymore? This will allow folks to keep their produce longer. So we talked with them a little bit about how this could be really helpful in food banks and local grocery stores, and they were really, really cool. So that technology is not here in America yet, but really something that we'd be looking forward to. I think you're talking.
All right. Yeah, so this one, I found this interesting. I don't know, it's like a vinyl bag that you can use for shipping, and you inflate it, and then you can send something, and then when it arrives at your door, so think about all those Amazon boxes, they could ship you something in this inflatable bag, and then you deflate it and fold it up, and you mail it back like a letter. And so it's very cheap postage to go back. It's an interesting idea. I don't think it's quite there yet, because you're polluting a heck of a lot with that plastic bag. So we'll see. These were cool. These were shoes, 3D printed shoes that were very comfortable. Did you like them? Did you try them on? Yeah, I thought they were very comfortable. Yeah. And they can custom print them. So kind of a wellness tech, but also a sustainability tech, that if we don't have some of the materials that are used for shoes that don't last very long, and they're not a great fit, and so they, a lot more waste.
Can they take my old shoes and convert them?
No, they would just print you new ones, which, I don't know, maybe they could make it of a recyclable material, but they might be able to do inserts and things like that. I've been looking at solar. My younger daughter also she's into sustainability, my 10-year-old, and so between the girls, they're trying to get me to move to solar. So Jackery had a solar roof. This would be a way to not support Tesla and to get a solar roof. Just an option. Who said weather, that you're big into weather? Yeah, so there's a cool weather API that would give us data about weather. We could integrate in as a developer. One of the uses that they had of it was putting it onto this globe, so 360 weather map. Happened to be when the wildfires happen every year out there in Los Angeles, but when the wildfires were at their peak is when we were at CES. It's kind of interesting to see what they could do with visualization. This one was a cool technology for eliminating microplastics. There are a number of those forever chemical elimination or microplastics elimination companies. So a lot of different things that we saw there. This was Melanie getting an eyeglasses prescription at a kiosk. So when we talk about accessibility, accessible healthcare, we thought that this or some of the other telemedicine kiosks that we saw there would be great to have in a Columbus library or a YMCA or a community center, Healthy New Albany, they could have at the Heights Center. So a lot of interesting things. Not sure it's quite there yet. They would do some of the things that you could do at an optometrist, but it's pretty cool what they could do for accessibility. Did you use your prescription that you had
Not
there?
yet. I do have an eye doctor appointment coming up, so I'm very
Got it.
interested to match.
Yeah, see if the kiosk matches.
Accurate with what they're gonna say.
Right, see if it matches the optometrist. Do you want to talk about these robots?
So they had a few different robots that I thought, obviously, that was adorable, that they are really supposed to be for companionship. And you'll see another one in here. It may be a little bit later in the presentation, but a lot of these are for companionship. So it could be for your kids, for an elderly person. So if you have a parent who needs some companionship, that was really cool. We had
This could be in the quirky category.
Yes. This is for brushing your teeth and your gums in a single stroke. Yet another smart ring. This was something we saw so many different variations of.
No, this is another one of me.
Yes. So a bunch of different ones. We saw some that were health related. We also saw some that you could tap to pay. So if you're wearing your ring, you forgot your wallet, you forgot your phone, you could, pay with your ring. This one was really cool. Did you try this one out? Yes, with
So I
yeah.
said, can I take a picture of your ear? And he said, yeah, but not that close. He didn't like my photography.
Yeah, this one tracked the blood flow to your head, as you can see. Yeah.
So who knows what happened to me when I was 9 years old, other than the front row? Neil knows. I had a stroke. I was playing soccer. I got hit in the head with a soccer ball, and it kinked a blood vessel, and I actually had a stroke. Killed about a third of my cerebellum. I don't know if it's back yet. My fingers don't wiggle with the dexterity that they used to, maybe, so I might not be a concert pianist. But this is
You're unlocked for a soccer mom?
What's
I
that?
said, no, you've unlocked another fear.
Sorry. It is very rare for that to happen in soccer. It can happen. Soccer can be rough. But this is the sort of thing that could monitor for that. If someone were wearing, it could monitor for injuries. It can monitor just for your body's performance to know, because we don't really have a great way to tell what's going on in the brain other than putting a helmet on or an MRI. So this is pretty cool to see what blood flow is going to the brain. Yes, no?
At all of the tables, did they tell you what the price of those things were?
If they're on the market. This was not on the market yet, so I don't know what it would cost. But I would guess something like this is in the hundreds, that $300 to $500 range. So pretty cool device. Good potential for the future. Here's that AARP exhibit. This was part of their exhibit. I think on the other side was the pickleball court that they had in there, honestly, where I played some pickleball. But they had speakers who came up and talk about aging tech. Here's a little bit of if it will load, a little video of me playing pickleball. You've all seen pickleball. This was with my glasses. Not that I'm not wearing it, I didn't even realize it. There's the ring. I was trying one of those rings on. I'd like to find a purpose for a smart ring. A smart watch does more, so I haven't quite determined what that purpose is. You got one? What do you think? What's the killer feature?
Comfortable way to track sleep.
Sleep tracking. Very good. So you don't have to wear a watch.
I can't do that.
Some of us can't stand the watch on.
Okay, so that could be good. I mean, it does all the measuring. I would say like I want notifications on it, but maybe I don't. Maybe I shouldn't have notifications all the time. This was a live translation.
Yeah, so Brad was listening to her. So this gal right here, she was actually speaking, and I could not hear her speak, and I couldn't hear what she was saying to Brad. So this would be used for people who, in big crowds like this, for example. So typically, if you're talking to somebody and you hear all that background noise, you can't really focus. So this is an opportunity for someone to put that on, or if you are making a phone call, she was able to demo that technology too. So it's connected to her phone here and the wiring. So they have some features that they can improve on, but this was really, really cool to see just that technology. I could not hear it, and then she put it on me as well and was speaking to me, and Brad could not hear it. I thought it was really, really neat. And here is one of our many massage couches and chairs. There were a handful of other ones.
So right. I know Margot's ready to give us the hook.
I do just want to say, I know Neil always does this at this point. If you do have to go, nobody will be insulted if you have to leave and get out. But you guys.
Thank you.
guys got
Yes. We'll try and zip through a few more, but yes, if you do have to leave, please feel free. That clock is about 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes fast. But we'll try to get you out. So I know we said we talked about AI a little bit. We talked about some of the ethical implications, particularly around sustainability. This was cool. Who has ordered from an AI kiosk? I just did this at Wendy's recently. So it's pretty cool to see what you can do. Who has had a negative experience talking to a human at a fast food drive-thru? Who's had a negative experience with an AI kiosk at a drive-thru? Not as many people, but still, it still can go wrong. So it's pretty cool. Like I asked it, I said, my daughter's dairy-free and I'm vegetarian, what could we order? And it can answer questions like that, where I don't know the human would do as good a job of that. Or can you check the nutritional content of that? The AI is going to do much better. So I see a lot of promise of this. This is a company that does AI for a restaurant chain called Oliver's in Australia, kind of inland Australia. It's kind of a neat demo. This was at Intel. They also had this AI sticker creator that was pretty cool at Amazon. We generated some stickers and brought them home, and so you could choose the theme that you wanted and what sort of sustainability message you wanted on there, and it printed off stickers. I will give those to you now that we're done with the talk. PJI, this was a cool city. I think there's another city up here, a city reporting software, but this would pull in reports, police reports and EMS and fire, and aggregate them and summarize them. It helps to write, so you could even just do transcription. The officers or the squad will jump in the car and go, and then dictate what's going on, and then this could generate reports for them later. So it could save a lot of time, could save lives at that point as well. So that was kind of cool software. This is a relatively small company. This one, you might be able to see the skeletal tracking. That's kind of sounds grim, it's not. People in a car, so it's tracking the body, the human body, and so it can see where your arms are, can see where you're looking. And so this is a great example of how AI analyzes behavior. And so it can learn from you and learn, are you paying attention? What's likely to cause an accident? And it can help you to be safer in a car. So you can see over, I have a video of it somewhere here, but you can see that these guys are in the car, and then there's a video, live video of them here, and how the computer vision is tracking them and analyzing their movements and their sentiment and alertness. So pretty cool stuff. This is more like a smart city dashboard where it's tracking all these IoT devices, little devices that are on very low power devices and sensors all around the city, and gives them a great dashboard. I think New Albany could do something like that. They don't have the scale. There was also some skincare stuff. You want to talk a little bit about what you did there?
Yeah. I thought this one was really interesting. We actually work with a client who is a dermatology practice. So we were talking with them. This is to allow essentially the nurses and the people working in the practice to be able to help more patients and help them more efficiently. And so this product, we were talking with the founder, and you're able to scan the mole, and then it will use technology to indicate whether this is something that should be further investigated, whether this is something that is okay. You could also do an at-home test as well, and then that is sent over to the doctor's office. So just being able to have better access to that, as well as folks in the doctor's office, this helps them reduce that workload and that mental workload, and they're able to see patients more efficiently. There's some AI videos here. This one was really cool. He had pictures, you could see all the different pictures generated, and you could use this for, it was like he was selling this as if you needed a commercial made, or if you wanted to put this on your social media, this was stuff that you could generate for a lower.
And I think with this one, you could have a professional take a still photo and then load it in, and it generates a video for you out of that still photo. Was kind of a cool thing. And there's text to video that's available now. Very cool.
Yeah, this one is, if you are taking a picture of something, they're able to find different types of products that are similar. So I know there's a few of these on the market as well. This is something that I found really interesting and cool, just because if you see somebody out and about, or if you're looking and browsing online shopping, this is something that can help you get this a little bit quicker instead of really doing the mental workload of trying to find it.
Is that similar to Google Lens, or is that a different kind of?
Does anyone have a Pixel phone or a Google phone where you can circle to search? So like on my phone, I can tap and hold on the bottom of the screen and then circle anything on the screen, and it does a search for it. And that's kind of what Google Lens does. So it's very similar to that, but it does it for clothing and anything. So it's kind of neat retail application. A lot of wearables. So I showed you some of the wearables, but this was Melanie trying on these Amazon glasses that only have speaker and microphone in them. There's no camera, so Melanie was not super impressed. I thought these were better and pretty similarly priced. A lot of glasses. This one you see is another tethered one that has a display in it. It's kind of neat. We're going to get to the quirky here in just a second. Live captioning. It's kind of cool accessibility feature of being able to hear what's going on, and then it live captions it visually for you in the glasses. Pretty cool feature. It has NFC chips in them. So imagine if you have a photo at home and you took a family vacation, you have your favorite photo that you put up on the wall, but you say, we have a whole album. You could have a chip that's in there. You wouldn't even necessarily have to have something visible, like a nasty looking QR code that messes up the look of it. You can put an NFC chip in the frame that takes you to the whole photo album. So kind of a cool thing that you could do.
They have it with birthday cards.
Yeah, birthday cards.
And you could tap on it, and then it actually is a video of you doing a message. I thought that was really cool.
This is the rolling TV screen that rolls up, rolls back down to hide itself, of questionable use. Very thin, transparent TVs. It's cool. You could have like a window, big display window on a store, but then when you want, it can show an actual video on it. So really pretty cool. This is you take your photo and it goes up on the big screen. We built something like this called Framed Camera. If anyone has an event, you want to have a photo booth. Cool contact card management. You tap an NFC card and your photo shows up. A little bit better than some of the contact sharing that we have today. let's see. Okay, let's get into some of the quirky. We got a little sample. Can I show that sample of the frame system for the wall? So there's some physical products as well. They're not quite as techy, putting photos up on the wall. It's kind of a neat little system. I talked last year about, probably remembers this, there are these devices that can sense your hands and the form of your hand, and so you can have gesture control without physically touching something. And this was the first real demo I saw that, where I was actually using this, and it's kind of weird. You have to like select with your whole hand. I think they could do a better job on the software there. But kind of neat how you can interact. This is a hologram, and so I was just putting my hand into the air, and it was selecting things. This is a cool, an alternative to RFID that would be much lower cost than RFID to implement. So kind of a neat antenna. This is another one of those random companies that you find down in Eureka Park, one of the areas. Okay, really quirky. The quirkiest thing, in my opinion, we'll get to Melanie's in a second, blue meat powder. You heard that right, blue meat powder. This is Alaskan fish. They had this whole booth that was all, I just went vegetarian recently in the last year, so I didn't get to try the actual meat powder, unfortunately, so disappointing. But they made a pizza out of blue meat powder. So it's like a flour